big discrepancy in head coaches, Chris. Heath Richard's been around the block a time or two. This is Coach Henry's first year for the Eagles.
I noticed in their notes says ULM in the white, Georgia Southern in the navy. He's the 20th. I don't know how they figured this, but Coach Henry, the 20th youngest coach in Division I college basketball. So there's that.
He does look a little young, but that's what youth is on his side.
ULM with possession to start this ball game. Savion Gallion will trigger it in as Tyreek LaCour controls this offense. Should be a game. This Georgia Southern team, they've really struggled on this side of the floor this year.
Yeah, they struggled defensively. Chris, they struggled in a lot of areas this year. You think of one advantage the Warhawks will have specifically is inside with their two post players. Particularly rebounding. ULM, one of the best rebounding teams in all of college basketball on the offensive side of the class.
Bryant, Brown III, Moore, Banks, and Parker, the starters for Georgia Southern, and banging the three home is Aaron Banks, the freshman.
Freshman out of Georgia. Three players, I think 6 total from the state of Georgia, 3 in the starting lineup. And Chris, you're going to see the Eagles shoot a lot of threes today.
Nice back up by Gallion, LaCour, Matsarishvili, Bolden, and Diju. You see the starters on your screen for ULM. Could see a lot of points in this ball game today.
I don't know the over-under, but we've started hot. And love the backdoor cut for the Warhawks.
Corner three on the way. It goes. As that time, it's Eugene Brown III, the transfer from Ohio State.
Love the corner pocket three if you're Georgia Southern. And Chris, Coach Henry comes from playing or coaching at Alabama with Nate Oates. They like to shoot the three a lot, and they continue that here at Georgia Southern.
Lots of threes, lots of layups. Not much from the mid-range game. Here's Diju, backs his way down, and nearly traveled the basketball. Finds Bolden. Matsarishvili, corner pocket, little off the mark. Diju bats it back out.
On cue, that offensive rebound. Now can they take advantage of it?
Diju, point blank range, no. And a whistle and a foul against the Warhawks.
And Chris, that's kind of been the theme this year for ULM. They're one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the country. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to take as much advantage of it as they should. If they're going to beat Georgia Southern today, those second and third opportunities they've got to make the most of.
17th in the country, ULM, 14.1 offensive rebounds per game. That's third in the conference. Nice back cut underneath Cam Bryant. This Georgia Southern team, they knock off Southern Miss by 21 for their first win of the season. That's quite a way to start your conference slate.
Good effort by Brown to keep it alive.
Corner three, it goes again for Cam Bryant. 6'7" senior from Camilla, Georgia, and 11 points. That was a career high for him in that Southern Miss win.
Another senior from the Peach State. Or another player from the Peach State, 6 in all.
Here's Bolden. He'll try the three. That's not really in his game, and the rebound pulled down by Georgia Southern. Cam Bryant and Moore. As Bryant given that three, he'll take it. And finally they miss. Offensive rebound, though, by Avante Parker, another freshman.
And Chris, we talked a lot about ULM and their rebounding. Georgia Southern doing a good job on their side offensively.
Bryant. Shot clock down to 5. Triggering the three is Moore. In and out, no good. And Diju with that strong rebound. The battle on the board is going to be fun to watch today. LaCour draws the foul from Banks. And Tyreek LaCour will head to the free throw line.
And Chris, Tyreek was one of the preseason all-conference player selections for ULM. And look, I think he's got to step up his game. He hasn't been in double figures since, I think, the week of Thanksgiving. He's averaging around 9 points a game. They need another scorer with Nika to get into double figures. I think Tyreek has got the best possibility to do that.
LaCour mentioned preseason second team all-conference. At the line, just 60% last year. Led the team 32 minutes per game, average 14 per game. That was 8th in the Sun Belt. We know he's capable of that.
There's a reason he was a preseason all-conference selection.
Second free throw is good. ULM at the free throw line. Shot it well, 69%. It's just over 300th in the country. Pressure defense for the Warhawks. Here's Moore. This is Parker. Spins in the lane. And ULM comes around to get the defensive stop.
Good move to get to the post, but couldn't finish. Oh, great move by Gallion.
Can't finish. Defense by Bradford, who comes in off the bench for the first time. Quickly down the floor, out of control was Banks, but he draws the foul, and he'll head to the free throw line.
Aaron Banks, one of the two freshmen, Chris, in the starting lineup. And we were talking about this in the intro. One of the reasons that the record might be what it was you've got a new head coach in Charlie Henry. You've got two guys in the starting lineup who are true freshmen. You've also they played one home game, I think, or no home games till December the 2nd. So, plus a tough non-conference schedule. You see why the record is what it is.
There's a floor foul. That ball deflected by Natsarishvili. Bolden comes away with a steal. He'll take it to the rim against Bradford and draws the foul. So Bolden heads to the charity stripe.
Bolden got to the starting lineup once conference play started. Love trying to finish with that left.
Saw the open lane and took it. Bolden making his 7th start. Couple of double-doubles, 8 points, 5 rebounds in 19 minutes on the road at SMU. That kind of was his coming out party as he misses that first.
Chris, I don't know if it's the fact that I was 5'10" or I could never get that left-handed layup down is why I didn't make it to the next level.
Well, you were challenging most Spates over there, you know, before the game to a one-on-one match.
Maybe in free throws.
8-5, Georgia Southern. They have been stuck on 8 for a few minutes. There's Banks. Back to Moore. More yet to score in this ball game. Bradford open for 3. That one rattles home for the 6'9" sophomore.
Chris, I know it's different players, but I think Georgia Southern 3 from 3 from that spot so far in the first half.
Well, it's that system. If you watch Alabama and Nate Oates, this is what they do. Natsarishvili. Yep. Nice hook shot.
The lost art of the hook.
Only 4 points for Max in his last game as Moore misses that 3. And now same team, Dichu and Bolden were trying to grab the rebound.
They really wanted that board.
I don't think either one realized the other had it.
I don't think so either.
Dichu going to work down low on Parker. That was blocked by Bradford. Now Gallion
looking for a foul.
He gets it to go.
Made it with a little contact, no call.
6-point lead now cut to 1. On that media timeout, there's Moore. He'll fire that 3, and he knocks it down. This seems like the Marshall game all over again, where Marshall couldn't miss in that first half.
D'Antoni's system for Marshall, they like to shoot a lot of threes as well. Of course, I think that's in the D'Antoni blood, and obviously we're seeing the same thing with Georgia Southern here today.
Already 7 3-point, or rather 8 3-point attempts. They're 4 of 8 so far.
Living up to the scouting report, no doubt.
Max on the pick and roll as he lays it in with that left hand. This should be a big game for him.
Nick is due. He's coming off one of his worst games of the season in the loss to Marshall last week.
Banks has it knocked away from behind. Georgia Southern will have the basketball when we come back. The pace is quick, Sean.
It is quick, it is fun, and buckle up. We might hit that over.
Georgia Southern with a 2-point lead over the Warhawks here in Monroe.
Popeye's new chicken wings make no sense. Marinated in Louisiana spices, hand-battered and flipped, and then we have the audacity to call all 5 flavors fast food? Someone should really say something, or order something. Love that chicken from Popeye.
Try fast and always free drive up at Target.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves by flavor.
Hey neighbor, it's us, Middlefield Bank, your friendly community bank right around the corner. Your everything bank. We're here to wish you a happy holiday season and our best wishes for a safe and healthy new year. And however you do your holiday shopping, protect yourself from fraud and identity theft with MB Secure Rewards checking account. It's another way MB looks out for our neighbors. That's part of the community bank difference at Middlefield Bank. Stop in today or learn more at middlefieldbank.bank.
I love to compete. Give me a challenge and watch me prove people wrong.
Back here inside Fenton Ewing Coliseum on this Saturday. Georgia Southern out to a 2-point lead in this ball game. Georgia Southern 5 for 10 to start. ULM 4 for 9, expecting some points in this one.
Well, then they're certainly living up to the hype as far as Georgia Southern with their 3-point shots. Chris, 4 of 8 so far. Not afraid to pull the trigger from distance.
One of the surprise results of the year was when Georgia Southern beat Southern Miss 88-67 on December 30th. It surprised a lot of folks, so it shows you what this Georgia Southern team is capable of.
Well, and sometimes, Chris, there's so much turnover in college athletics. They plus a new coach. It sometimes takes time to get your system in place, and they've played much better once conference play got started.
Charlie Henry in his first season at the helm for the Eagles, as Bradford will trigger it in for Georgia Southern in front of that ULM bench. Head coach Keith Richard looking on. This is Derek Harris who checked into the ball game. He takes the basketball against LaCour. Up and under, and that one will not fall. Matsarishvili with that rebound.
Didn't take Harris long to get into the act as far as shooting. Every single guy checks into this lineup for Georgia Southern, not afraid to shoot.
Golden starting 5, still on the floor for the Warhawks. Here's LaCour. Shot clock under 10. And that ball poked away from behind by David Jones. And ULM will keep it 7 on the shot clock as they inbound. Jones, the 6'8 junior from Sacramento. He averages 9 minutes a game with the defense.
Got to get it up.
Bolden, short. And the rebound pulled down by Georgia Southern.
Good defense by the Eagles that possession.
Tyron Moore running that point. Cam Bryant now to Jones and Bradford again for 3 off the mark. Backside rebound there to LaCour.
And Chris, you said it earlier. There's going to be a lot of layups and a lot of 3-point shots. Don't look for the lost art of the mid-range jumper from Georgia Southern.
Do not want that in this system. Now look, Metz got great position, but just could not finish underneath. You can see that his head shakes as he comes down the floor. He's kind of frustrated offensively right now.
Yeah, he's the best player on this Warhawk team, and as he goes, so goes ULM, and his shot just hasn't gone the last couple of weeks.
Great finish by David Jones, transfer in from Indian Hills Community College.
Of course, Nika's still trying to work his way back from a season-ending knee injury last year.
Played the first 5 games before going down last year. Here's Bolden off a screen, a little bit short that time.
Well, the play was run to perfection coming off a double screen. Bolden's got to hit that open 3.
Harris will take the 3 this time, and he splashes it home.
Well, we mentioned he checks into the game, not afraid to shoot. And what is that, 10 or 11 3-point shots already from Georgia Southern here in the first 8 minutes of this ball game?
5 for 10 from long distance. Metz. Isolate him on that side. LaCour. Got to find some offense somewhere as Diju gets that one to fall.
Good look by Bolden, from Bolden to Diju, Chris. And again, ULM's got some looks inside, and they've got to make the most of the opportunity they did on that possession.
Georgia Southern shooting 50%. ULM at 5 out of 13, below 40% to start this ball game. Getting some looks, just have not been able to convert. Nearly a steal. Bradford with that little floater.
Good little inside-outside game from Bradford. We've seen him hit some 3s now. The short touch.
Bradford, interesting guy out of the state of North Carolina, led the state by averaging 34 points a game his senior year. That's a pretty good basketball state, too.
That it is.
Savion Gallion now to LaCour. 5'11 versus 6'9 right here. LaCour takes advantage, but the shot blocked by Jones.
Good cover by Jones because a good first step by LaCour.
Gallion, he knocks it down. Boy, I tell you what, that's a big 3 for ULM. They needed that one.
Gallion coming off the bench. One of the big reasons that the Warhawks are one of the top teams in the country off second unit scoring. Both teams actually very good second unit scoring as we've seen so far, indicated in this first half.
Moore. Now Bryant goes up. That one rattles out. Diju the rebound.
Chris, I'm almost shocked right now when they don't shoot a 3-pointer.
LaCour, bounce pass, Bolden, and he's hammered going up. Not a ball, but some contact there as well. And that leads to our under 12-minute media timeout. Georgia Southern maintaining a 4-point lead.
Well, that was all about Bolden getting help side coverage. Got to take advantage of it. Gallion certainly did.
You've got a lot on your to-do list, but none of it happens without your health.
My blood pressure feels high right now, and I'm exhausted.
The story of your health lives in the story of your life. At St. Francis Health, we believe healing you means hearing you.
I need to tell my doctor about this headache.
So no matter where you are, no matter what's on your mind, we're ready to listen. The doctor will hear you now.
Johnny's Pizza House is bringing the bayou straight to your plate. Sweep the Swamp is back, and we've captured the very essence of Louisiana in every single slice.
Hey, you ain't got to feel it.
Loaded with crawfish, shrimp, a generous taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, a kick of jalapenos, sprinkled with Cajun spices, and topped with mozzarella cheese. It's where tradition meets taste, and where every slice is a celebration. Gather around the table and roll up your sleeves with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice of Cajun cuisine.
Georgia Southern leads it by 4. Coming out of the timeout, the Eagles 5 of 10 from 3. Chris Harris with you alongside Sean Fox, and that 5 for 10 for 3, that's the difference.
Yeah, and again, we knew they were one of the teams that shoot the most three-point shots in the country, one of them. It's going down for them tonight, which is certainly one of the big reasons they're out to a 21-17 lead. Again, difference right now, 5 for 10 for Georgia Southern, 2 of 6 for ULM from distance. ULM struggled from distance this year.
Jalen Bolden at the line, 18 for 20 on the season, make it 19 for 21.
Yeah, they've, outside of Jaden, this team's really struggled from the line, but Jalen certainly helped with the percentages.
From Zachary, Louisiana. Of course, the announcer jinx there.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, of course, Zachary right outside of Baton Rouge has become really one of the better athletic high schools. Really doesn't matter the sport in the state of Louisiana.
Jamar Franklin in the ball game for Georgia Southern. He's a transfer from South Alabama. And he lost it over there on the sideline. And ULM will get the basketball after the turnover.
And that was caused by the good defense by Makai Willis, who just checked into the ball game for the first time for ULM.
Only the second turnover for Georgia Southern. Only one so far for ULM. Both teams taking care of the basketball so far. LaCour for Egypt,
which is something Georgia Southern struggled with so far this year.
Watson in the ball game, as well as our key player for ULM, Jerry Nagopo, and Willis as well. Here's a 3 from Watson, top of the key off the mark.
Nagopo also checking in the game for the first time. He was the leading scorer coming off the bench for ULM in that loss to Marshall earlier this week.
Corner 3 from the Ohio State transfer, Brown, and he gets it to go.
That is his spot. Chris, if you had any doubt, is that his shot? That bounce and roll showed you that was his shot.
Brown's 22 games last year for the Buckeyes. One start, driving the lane, Willis, and he draws the foul. That time, I think Parker might have just gotten him on the hand. Good drive to the basket by Willis. Not able to finish, but he is able to draw a foul. Willis, another athlete on this roster. 6'9" junior from Tallahassee. Transferred in from Fairfield. Splashes the first. We're not going to say anything about the free throw shooting right now. 2 years at Fairfield. Banks back in for Georgia Southern. The free throw shooting has been something this ULM team trying to do much better at, as he makes both. Shot well against Marshall on Wednesday. And the lead's back to 4, 24-20. Parker against Nagopo.
Got a guy in the corner. That's been their shot so far.
Tidwell misses his first attempt. And the rebound pulled down by Willis.
Tidwell, senior out of Chicago, checking in for the first time. And what does he do? Shoot a three.
Georgia Southern team defending well so far. Here's LaCour for three. Still a little bit off the mark. It was.
And Chris, we talked about it in the leading up to tip in the pregame. We said this is a guy who's got to get it going, and he's just been struggling over about a month now.
Three goes for Eugene Brown. His second three in the last couple of minutes. Sweet stroke from the outside, especially at 6'8".
Guys are getting taller, can handle the basketball more, and games change, shooting a lot of threes.
Willis, or rather Watson, flashes to the free throw line. Mid-range jumper wouldn't fall.
And that's the look you want, but not the execution.
There's Banks, nice give and go that time. Parker up and under, had it knocked away. And he's a little frustrated he couldn't finish that one. That takes us to the immediate timeout. Georgia Southern, don't be deceived by their record. They got some guys.
Those three-point shots, they're going in the first half for Georgia Southern.
Bold, juicy, beefy, grilled. There's a lot of ways to describe the flame-grilled flavor of Burger King. But one thing's for certain, it's not the same without the flame.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
Try fast and always free drive up at Target.
The landscape of fitness was bleak. Toxic instructors, shady scammers, and Bispo Bakes. Mother Fitness was angry.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Hello, my hot girl. Enough of this toxic nastiness. So she took her hotties to the judgment-free zone. Welcome to Planet Fitness, where everybody can work out in their own way.
Listen to Mother Fitness. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale. Deal ends Friday, January 12th.
Where are my legs?
Hey neighbor, it's us, Middlefield Bank, your friendly community bank right around the corner. Your everything bank. We're here to wish you a happy holiday season and our best wishes for a safe and healthy new year. And however you do your holiday shopping, protect yourself from fraud and identity theft with MB Secure Rewards checking account. It's another way MB looks out for our neighbors. That's part of the community bank difference at Middlefield Bank. Stop in today or learn more at middlefieldbank.bank.
UFC 297 is exclusively on ESPN Plus, and don't miss this special offer. Go to ESPNplus.com/PPB and get $10 off your pay-per-view purchase. Buy now and save $10 on UFC 297. Offer ends January 15th.
Georgia Southern with a 7-point lead here inside Fayette Coliseum. And Sean, the threes have been counted.
Well, they're shooting over 50% so far, Chris, in this ball game, 7-13. I think it's about 54%, and not just that, sharing the basketball. Most of these three-point shots come off assists. So right now, Georgia Southern executing their offense almost to perfection.
Tidwell gives it to Bryant. Tidwell, we were talking about him during the break, Sean. He's playing for his 5th different school in 5 years, and he can knock down a 3-2.
Well, you're keep getting opportunities if you're making shots like that, but that's kind of, again, where we are in this state of college athletics. Guys move around a lot.
Tidwell, 0. He is one of 5 current Division I players playing for his 5th school. It's incredible. Here's Nagopo. He'll take the 3.
Not really his shot, but he had an open look.
So Nagopo misses that one. That was his 4th attempt on the season. He was 1 for 3 coming in. Banks. Here's Bryant. That is a hand in his face from Willis. And here comes ULM. 3-on-2 break. Pull up. A little too strong. There's a lid on the basket right now for ULM. And Diju gets the putback. That was the most confident stroke we've seen from him.
No, and it was, Chris. And we talked about ULM great at offensive rebounding, but they've got to take advantage of those opportunities they did on that possession.
Lead back into single digits here. A lot of possessions we'll see in this ball game. Franklin into the corner now. Bryant kicks Tidwell. That was all air that time, and Nagopo runs it down.
ULM got a hand in his face at the last second, altered that shot.
LaCour strong with that left hand. Diju, the putback, no.
Chris, there's an example of a lid on the basket. You see, he had a great look, and it looked like it was going in.
There's Banks.
Good defense by Watson.
It is amazing, this system for Georgia Southern. Nothing from 15 feet. Everything is from 3 or at the rim.
It's just like what Nate Oates has installed at Alabama. Good left hand, got to finish. Yeah, you're again, the mid-range almost doesn't exist in both Alabama and Georgia Southern's offense. It is, I don't know, it's called the fun and gun. If it is using a football term, but we're going to get to the basket, we're going to make layups, we're going to shoot a lot of threes.
Here's Avante Parker. He's just a freshman. Nice job there getting the hand in to knock that basketball away by Jacob Wilson. I like Parker. 6'9", a freshman. He's got a lot of potential.
You took the words out of my mouth. He's a good-looking kid. That's kind of how you want to draw up a post player. 6'9", 212, and still young enough to put a little meat on those bones, but he's a good-looking young player.
Wilson, after starting a couple of games, back coming off the bench today. Watson, Nagopo, and he lost the handle. And just a case there, just butterfingers.
You got what you wanted. It was a great look by Watson, but Nagopo put the ball on the ground, and
you can tell Coach Keith
knocked it out of
Richard
bounds.
Is just really frustrated, trying to find somebody that can get something going for his team offensively.
And Chris, they've had good looks. It just hadn't gone down.
Right now shooting just 30%, 7 for 23. That was a step-back 3 attempt from Moore, but he kind of scooted that pivot foot.
It was a nice step-back 3, but a little too nice. And Chris, what's amazing is Georgia Southern is doing what they're doing right now offensively with really Tyron Moore off to a slow start.
He's got 4 assists. Only one made 3 to this point as Metsarishvili checks back in for the Warhawks.
You mentioned the assists. I mean, he can fill up a stat sheet in the win over Southern Miss. He had 27.6 rebounds, 5 assists. That's doing a little bit of everything. So he's not just a scorer.
With Moore, a proven guy, coming back as there's a steal by Bryant. Passes ahead. And Bradford finishes on the other end. And a timeout taken by ULM. Defense turns to offense for the Eagles.
And finishing with the left. And right now it's all Georgia Southern with 4:36 remaining here in the first half, extending that lead to double digits.
30-second timeout. Go ahead.
Hey, Chris, I was just saying on that turnover, Nika just threw it to the Georgia Southern defender, and Georgia Southern made the most of it. We talked about layups and free throws. You're not going to get an easier layup than what they just got.
First-year head coach Charlie Henry comes from that Fred Hoiberg tree as well. He was head coach of the Windy City Bulls, the G League affiliate for the Chicago Bulls.
And he's been around some really good professional players, whether it was as an assistant coach of the Chicago Bulls, but he also was, when he was at Alabama, coached Herb Jones. Of course, one of the fan favorites of the New Orleans Pelicans. Of course, last year helped in the development of Brandon Miller, who ended up being the second pick in the draft to the Hornets.
It's always nice. Always, Reed, help develop these guys. The talent some of them have when you develop is pretty good, too.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. But he's got a great track.
I'm pretty sure Brandon would have been okay, but
he fine-tuned some things for sure. Another turnover. That time Bradford takes it away.
And Gopo's having a hard time coming off that good game against Marshall, holding on to the basketball.
Right now, Georgia Southern just has an extra step in this ball game on the Warhawks. Here's Jones.
That's a good cut.
Bounce pass, floater, good that time from Banks. Or excuse me, Moore. That was Moore with the bucket. His second field goal.
Great pass, great finish.
Largest lead now for the Eagles. It's a dozen. Here's Watson. They need a basket in a bad way. That's his spot.
It is. And look, he had 3 or 4 shots from there so far. That's the first one to go down. Maybe that's the confidence he needed.
His first career start against App State in the conference opener. He played well.
And Keith Richard has tinkered with his lineup once conference play got started.
I think Coach Richard always does is he brings his lineup down to just a couple. There's a bad behind-the-back pass by Moore. LaCour, other ring, count it, and the foul.
Tyree just needed one of those to go in. And maybe a little too fancy by Moore with the behind-the-back pass.
That turnover, the third for Georgia Southern. One of the best finishers you'll find, especially at his size. LaCour at the free throw line when we come back. ULM trailing by 8.
Ever wonder how they make your Bud Light so crisp and refreshing? It starts with 4 essential ingredients: barley, rice, water, and hops. Bud Light, brewed for great times.
If you or a loved one have been the victim of medical negligence or a drug injury, we can help. Do what thousands of satisfied clients have done. Call Jeff Guerrero, the injury attorney, and go Guerrero.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
Louisiana Eye and Laser Center in Monroe has always been your first choice for cataract, LASIK, glaucoma, retina services, any severe eye issue, or surgery, but we are so much more. We provide quality care for the whole family with eye exams and routine eye care. We have an optical center to help you get contacts and pick out the best pair of glasses to fit your lifestyle. We accept most insurances, including Medicare and Medicaid. Come, take advantage of all we offer and keep your eyes healthy all year long. Get the best care from our team of experts at Louisiana Eye and Laser Center in Monroe.
Back inside Fat Ewing Coliseum, Georgia Southern ULM men on the women's side. ULM is in Statesboro taking on Georgia Southern. They lead by 6, 54-48 with 8 minutes to go in that ball game. So Coach Missy Bilderbat, what a great job she's done in her first season.
That's been the talk of Northeast Louisiana, Chris, so far this basketball season, is the job that Missy Bilderbat has done her first year coming from Jones Community College, where she was a wildly successful junior college coach, and her connections have paid off in rebuilding this roster. And they had an impressive first conference win this past week and trying to pick up where they left off.
Here's Tariq LaCour at the free throw line, trying to finish that three-point play, but cannot. Georgia Southern's led by as many as 12. They lead by 8. Final 3-10 of this first half.
Shooting 50% so far, and when you get looks like that.
Freshman Aaron Banks, one of the top guards in the class of 2023 out of the state of Georgia. Lead back to 10.
Great player to kind of build your roster around as talented freshmen like that.
LaCour taking advantage of the matchup here. Bradford cuts him off, though. Shot clock down to 6.
Defense by Georgia Southern.
That would have been huge if it had gone down that time. Jones singed it underneath. Here comes the Eagles. Bradford. ULM does a nice job of getting back on defense that time.
And Chris, I know Georgia Southern has struggled defensively so far this year, but you wouldn't know it in the first half.
Moore misses that 3. ULM winning the rebound battle. They get that rebound. Wilson, the trailer. 3 off the mark. And a whistle and a foul underneath is going to go against Georgia Southern. I think they're going to whistle Cam Bryant with that foul.
And while Georgia Southern continues to shoot above 50% from distance, Chris, ULM, after that shot, shooting less than 25% from three-point land. Again, that's the kind of look you want to execute if you're Keith Richard.
We had the perfect angle to watch that. You could tell it was off the whole way. Here's Metsa-Reach-Bealey driving in, can't get the roll. And a whistle and a foul going to be called on Diju underneath.
Chris, how many shots, if you're a ULM fan, look like they're about to go down and have it so far here in the first half? That was another prime example. Got the look that you wanted, but not the execution. And
I thought this should have been a jump ball. Yeah.
I don't know how that's a foul, but Southern fans will take it.
Oh, they called the foul.
Yeah. Wow. Again, I thought it was a jump ball. I didn't think there was a foul on anybody.
Our officials in this ball game, Arthur Volk, that's him on your screen, along with Devin Page and John Johnson.
I'm definitely jealous of Arthur's hair.
And there's Charlie Henry trying to get an explanation.
AD with the 1-and-1.
At the line, he has had his struggles this year at 7 for 25. And misses the front end. Tried the reverse jinx that time.
Not quite Shaq, but he is struggling from the free throw line.
Final 2 minutes of this first half. The freshman Banks. That screen from Jones. Moore, who's had a fairly quiet first half. Here's Franklin. One of the more patient possessions from the Eagles. Franklin. That almost went down. It was contested.
Good defensive possession for Keith Richard's bunch.
LaCour had it knocked away. Maybe asking for a foul that time. They'll keep it.
I'll tell you what, Chris, even though they're not finishing, Tyreek is about as explosive. You mentioned it earlier, getting to the basket better than anybody. His first step is really phenomenal. That's exactly what you didn't want if you're ULM.
Bryant the other way, misses the bunny. Franklin the rebound, and a foul called on the floor. I think Bryant might have been in between whether he was going to dunk this or lay it in.
Yeah, he was definitely got caught in no man's land. Looked like he was initially to go up for the dunk, then try to go with his left.
And credit LaCour for not giving up on that play.
Could have.
You know, just trailing him.
And look, if he doesn't go and trail and make that play defensively, Chris, that's an easy layup. Him running down there with an effort play kind of put him in no man's land. Do I dunk it? Do I lay it up?
Foul was on Wilson, his first. 3 team fouls against Georgia Southern.
Not a lot of fouls called so far in this game.
Tyrese Watson really has provided some of the offense with his mid-range game. You see the freshman there,
Banks. Floater by the freshman.
Right now, scoring-wise, it's as balanced as you can get. Eugene Brown actually is the leading scorer for Georgia Southern with 8. You look at the bench points.
Coming off the bench, yeah. And Chris, both teams have gotten production from their bench so far this year. So far in this game, Georgia Southern got the better end of that.
ULM hasn't scored in a little more than 2 minutes. Foul discrepancy 7-3. That was just the 3rd team foul against the Warhawks. Eagles to inbound. Metz nearly had the steal, but had his foot on the baseline.
Well, Chris, I'll say this. Even though it's 36-26, if you're ULM, Georgia Southern still knocking down some threes, but not near the open shots that they had. They had made some adjustments defensively. Right now, Georgia Southern making some contested three-point shots, but defense has improved.
Aaron Banks. That 2-man game with Jones,
beautiful.
Who goes up.
That's beautiful basketball right there.
Jones, the junior from Sacramento, he's 6'8", and he got up.
And I love the pocket pass for the easy deuce.
ULM was outstanding in the second half against Marshall. More of a second half team lately.
You hope to not get down if you're ULM by as much as they did against Marshall. That's Wilson. The open three you want.
You can tell that comp. There's Diju, the putback.
Chris, you got the open three. He didn't execute, but Diju did get the follow. Get this lead back to 10.
6 first half rebounds for A.D. Diju. Got a 5-second differential shot clock and game clock right now. Franklin is tied up.
I think there's your jump ball.
And it'll stay with Georgia Southern. 16 seconds on the game clock. 11, as you see on your screen on the shot clock here. Georgia Southern shooting 48% in the first half. ULM at 32%. Here's Banks back in the corner, but the pass is intercepted. Driving shot blocked by Bryant. But heading to the free throw line, Tyrese Watson.
Watson with an aggressive move to the basket. Able to draw the foul. Didn't finish, but got the foul on the freshman Aaron Banks.
Turn that turnover, that play we've seen a lot from them to get that look in the corner for three. It just was read well, and
they were executing that very well early in this ball game. And Chris, there go the struggles from the stripe. And a theme in and out, but not going all the way through for ULM.
Watson, a 59% free throw shooter. Makes 1 of 2. Led ULM with those 14 points at SMU. Played at UAB in JUCO ball. Here's Banks. Banks blocked that time by Wilson. And maybe a little bit of momentum for ULM heading to the locker room.